Hello friends, Victor here. In this video, I'm going to talk about when to sell stocks or when is the best time to sell stocks. Throughout this video, I will use our investing software rankingstock.com to show you the 4 most common scenarios where it makes sense to sell some stocks. I wanted to make this video because the market as a whole has rallied a lot recently. The market is becoming slightly greedy again, although it's not extremely greedy yet. For example, at the time of recording this video, the Nasdaq 100 is approaching another all-time high again. Tech stocks, especially AI semiconductor stocks, have surged a lot recently, mainly because of AI enthusiasm, massive AI infrastructure build-outs, strong earnings growth from many tech companies, AI advancements, huge AI usage growth, and the proliferation of advanced AI models, AI apps, and agentic AI systems that are becoming much cheaper to use and much more useful. Right now, one of the biggest risks is that if too many tech stocks become overvalued, the market will eventually correct and have a larger pullback later on. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 most common scenarios where it makes sense to sell some stocks, so you will have more capital available to invest into other great businesses later on when they become undervalued again. First, sell when the business is likely deteriorating, losing its competitive advantage, no longer improving, or expected to have much lower growth rates and much lower earnings growth going forward. Second, sell when you can find much better opportunities or much stronger businesses to reinvest your capital. Third, sell when the stock is likely trading at least 50% above its fair value. And fourth, sell some stocks if the market becomes extremely greedy or overvalued, so you will have more capital to invest later on. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our proprietary investing software, rankingstock.com. Once you become a premium member, you will get full access to our proprietary stock ranking system, our in-depth stock analysis reports, and of course, our fair value charts, so you will know when a stock becomes undervalued, fair value, or overvalued. We offer a 7-day free trial, so you can try out our platform for free and see if it's right for you. The link is in the video description below, so make sure to check it out. First, I believe it makes sense to sell if the stock is no longer a great business with strong fundamentals and strong long-term growth prospects. Typically, a company will continue to underperform if the business is no longer as competitive as before, if it's no longer as profitable as before, if growth rates continue to decelerate significantly going forward, if earnings are expected to decline, if the business is no longer growing, or if the underlying business is being disrupted by competitors and new innovations such as generative AI and agentic AI systems. Let me give you an example here. Salesforce used to be a great enterprise software as a service or SaaS business. It used to have very high double-digit growth rates and very stable growth almost every year. However, it has become somewhat of a value trap in recent years. If you look at the stock performance here, you can see that Salesforce has been underperforming the market by a huge margin over the past 5 years. This is because the company has relied too heavily on acquisitions to boost its revenue growth, overpaid for many of its past acquisitions, and failed to generate enough organic growth from its existing CRM business. Moreover, Salesforce growth rates have decelerated significantly over the years. In the past, Salesforce revenue used to grow well above 20% almost every year. At the same time, the market gave Salesforce a huge premium because it had a strong seat-based business model that consistently generated recurring revenue, operating income, and free cash flow growth almost every quarter. However, the biggest issue is that Salesforce is no longer a high-growth enterprise software business like before. In fact, if you compare Salesforce to Microsoft, you will realize that Salesforce has been growing much slower than Microsoft, even though Microsoft is a much larger company with a much larger revenue base and is much more profitable than Salesforce. Also, if you look at this consensus forecast from rankingstock.com, you can see that Salesforce revenue growth is expected to slow to around 9% to 11% annually over the next 3 years. In my opinion, this expected growth rate is too low for an enterprise software company. More importantly, AI will continue to disrupt many traditional seat-based software businesses, including Salesforce. This means many software companies' valuation multiples, including Salesforce, P multiple, will continue to compress going forward. Enterprise software companies like Salesforce will likely recover if they can prove that AI can help them accelerate their revenue growth again and generate high returns on their AI investments. So once you study the business deeply enough and realize that it's no longer a great business for long-term investing, it makes more sense to sell the stock and reinvest that capital into much better businesses that are much stronger, more profitable, more durable, and growing much faster. Second, sell if you can find much better opportunities or much stronger businesses to reinvest your capital into, so you can grow your stock portfolio much faster than simply holding an underperforming stock. Let me give you an example here. Several weeks ago, I sold my remaining Netflix shares and took a small loss because I wanted to use the funds to buy more Micron and DRAM shares. At the same time, I also wanted to use the loss to offset some of my capital gains for this year. I know Netflix is undervalued, and I know that the stock will eventually recover over the next few years because Netflix business fundamentals have not changed at all. For example, based on this consensus forecast from rankingstock.com, you can see that Netflix EPS is expected to double over the next 3 to 5 years. Currently, Netflix's 4 PE multiple is only around 25, which I think is reasonable compared to the company's expected double-digit revenue and EPS growth rates over the next several years. Now, before selling Netflix, I had two options. I could simply hold Netflix shares and wait for the stock to recover over the next 3 years. Or I could sell Netflix shares and reinvest that capital into another outstanding business with much higher growth rates over the next several years and with a much lower valuation. Here's what I did. I decided to sell my remaining Netflix shares and use the proceeds to buy more Micron and DRAM shares because I know that the big three DRAM makers, including Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix, will continue to be the biggest beneficiaries of the current AI supercycle over the next 3 to 5 years, or even longer. At the same time, I know that Micron is a much stronger business than Netflix in terms of growth rates and stock valuation. For example, if you look at this consensus forecast from rankingstock.com, you can see that Micron is expected to deliver exceptionally high triple-digit revenue and EPS growth rates this year, followed by very strong double-digit revenue and EPS growth rates next year. At the same time, Micron's stock valuation is much lower than Netflix's stock valuation. For example, Micron's 4 PE is expected to be around 13 this year and around 7 next year. More importantly, Micron will continue to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the current AI supercycle. AI memory demand will continue to exceed memory supply over the next 3 years or even longer because frontier AI models, reasoning AI models, much larger context windows, growing KV cache requirements, agentic AI systems, and eventually physical AI will require significantly more HBM, DRAM, and NAND storage. These systems need enormous amounts of memory and storage to hold process tokens and KV cache, so AI accelerators do not need to constantly recompute previously processed tokens. I believe HBM, DRAM, and NAND prices will continue increasing over the next several years because the big three DRAM makers, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, cannot bring new wafer capacity online fast enough to meet AI memory demand that is growing much faster. It takes roughly 3 to 5 years to build new fabs and to add meaningful new capacity. Moreover, HBM typically consumes about 3 to 4 times more DRAM wafer capacity per bit compared to traditional DRAM such as DDR5. This means the overall DRAM supply will continue to be heavily constrained over the next few years or even longer, which will benefit Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix the most. In hindsight, I believe I made the right decision by selling Netflix and using the funds to buy more Micron and DRAM shares. So in just 1 month, I've already made much larger gains from Micron and DRAM than I would have made from simply holding Netflix. If I had continued holding Netflix, it may take several years or longer to make the same return. This is why I believe it makes much more sense to sell a stock if you can find much better opportunities or much stronger businesses to reinvest your capital. Third, sell if the stock is trading at least 50% above its fair value, so you have more capital available to invest in other outstanding companies that are much more undervalued or fairly valued. For example, at the time of making this video, Intel is one of the most overvalued stocks in the Nasdaq 100. Its current 4P is well above 100. Based on this valuation tool from rankingstock.com, you can see that Intel stock is trading at least 50% above its fair value. Investors have been increasingly bullish on Intel in recent months, mainly because agentic AI systems will require significantly more Intel CPUs for planning, orchestrating tasks, using tools, processing data, managing many sub-agents, calling APIs, managing memory, retrieving data, and coordinating multi-step reasoning workflows. Moreover, Intel's foundry business is finally turning around. For example, Intel has begun winning external customers that want to use Intel's advanced packaging technologies and foundry services to manufacture leading-edge chips. So I believe it will just be a matter of time before Intel becomes a profitable business again like before. However, the biggest issue I see is that Intel's 4P multiple is simply too high compared to its expected revenue and EPS growth rates over the next 3 years. It doesn't make sense to buy Intel at a 4P multiple that's above 100 when its revenue is only expected to grow in the low teens or possibly in the mid-teens each year over the next 3 years. This is why I believe it makes more sense to sell Intel if the stock becomes at least 50% above its fair value. Now, the fourth reason to sell some stocks is when the overall market becomes extremely overvalued and greedy. The market will eventually correct if it overheats too much, just like what we saw a few years ago. Currently, if you look at this S&P 500 valuation chart from rankingstock.com, you can see that the overall market is still relatively undervalued, mainly because many sectors outside of tech are still undervalued. At the time of making this video, the S&P 500 is near another all-time high, mainly because of huge rallies in many mega-cap tech stocks and AI semiconductor companies that are driving most of the growth. Outside of tech, many sectors are still undervalued. So here's my plan. If the overall market becomes extremely greedy again and reach this red area here, I will likely sell some stocks, so I will have more capital to reinvest into other outstanding companies when they become undervalued again later on. If you want access to this S&P 500 valuation chart and the other investing tools I showed you earlier in this video, just visit rankingstock.com. We offer a 7-day free trial, so you can try our platform for free and see if it's right for you. Now, everything I've shared here is simply my opinion and my own analysis based on my own research. None of this is financial advice. There are always risks with investing, so it's very important to invest in what you know and avoid speculation. Always do your own research and do your extra due diligence first before making any investment decisions. Thank you for watching and for supporting our channel. This is Victor from the Intelligent Investor channel, and I will see you in the next video.